I'm Brad Newman, plant manager for ZF Chassis Systems in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. We're one of the largest Tier 1 automotive suppliers to Mercedes and one of the longest tenured suppliers to them here. Building chassis right now that will be on a vehicle in less than 4 hours. And they're all built to the exact variant that the body, there's a VIN number that's applied to the body when it comes out of paint. That VIN number tells us exactly which variant to make for that exact body. We assemble the front and rears exactly in that order, ship them in exactly that order. They show up to line just in time for that body to be mated up to that chassis. So what you're looking at right now will be in one of those SUVs or one of those C-classes. I interview everybody that comes into this plant for a job for any salaried position, starting out with interns. And really what we're looking for are reasons not to hire you or to cull you out of the list of capable or candidates that we think. And I know that sounds harsh, but it's true. We have to get down to one person. And to do that, we look at a lot of things. You know, how are you dressed? How do you present yourself? What type of experience do you bring with you? Do you show some humility? Can you display that you have some discipline and that you're willing to do the little things right? Show up on time, stay the whole time, get along with people, do what you're asked to do, you know, that type thing. And I know that sounds simple, but it's not so easy to find. If you and I have a boss, and that boss has an expectation of us, let's say it's Project A, whatever that is. We're the same two people, same boss, same project. If you and I get along well and we communicate really well, open, honest, what happens? Probably do pretty well at getting that project done, or at least as well as we can. All right, same two people, same boss, same project. I have an erroneous assumption about you, or you do about me. We don't like each other. We're jealous of it. We make it about us. We don't communicate so well. Now what happens? The project doesn't get done as quickly, and so it's a huge. It means everything. Yeah, I mean, just the operation behind me. Yeah. We assemble the chassis for every vehicle made at Mercedes, both plants. Everything we do is safety related. So if you're an entry-level operator, you're touching this vehicle, you're applying, you're assembling this thing, and if it's not right, if it's not perfect, if it doesn't meet the specifications, then it becomes a major problem for whoever, your mom who buys this car and all of a sudden it doesn't work right, something happens, it's a problem. And then everything in between, the engineers, the maintenance people, you know, HR folks, planners, all of that has to come together perfectly for us to be able to make this in time to supply to them. At any point in that chain, if there's a weakness, then we feel it immediately. So if you're not excellent at that, there's no way to hide it. It's okay not to be excellent as long as you're trying as hard as you can. I have a boss just like everybody else. I earn my job every day, and I really do see it as my job to make my boss's job easy. I didn't say to make my boss's job easy if I like them. They're my boss. It's my job to make their job easy. So it makes it easier for me to expect that for the people who work in this plant. I expect my staff to make my job easy. If they aren't, and it's about them, then there's a problem. It's not that it's about me. It's that they're doing the job that they're expected to do that puts us in the best position to be successful. And if it doesn't work, then that's on me. It's okay. You know, I love all my employees. I do. I really do. I mean that. And I care for them. I work for 400 people. They don't work for me. All right? I never make a decision that is based on what's best for Brad. I make what's best for them. If they're not doing the little things right, and if they're not getting along with the folks around them, and they're not being excellent in their work, then I help them understand that, or my folks do, and it may not work. It's okay. Look for things that are important to them that may not be in your current role or your current function, and if you have the opportunity and the skill set to positively affect it, ask if you can get involved. The worst they can do is say no. If they say no, it's okay. You go back to doing what you were doing. If they say yes, because they have a need, you may just be filling a need that they need at that time, your stock really goes up. For a couple of reasons. One, you're making your boss's job easy, right? Two, you're showing you have some flexibility and willingness to accept something outside your normal role. Nobody has time for excuses. And nobody wants to work with somebody who complains or looks for reasons to think that things didn't work versus looking for, and trying to push it off themselves versus looking for what I really need to do to make it work. So the victim mentality, if you have that, you really better go see somebody and get that taken care of, whatever that takes. Because if you're in any sort of competitive industry business, it doesn't matter what it is, and you can't accept responsibility, and even to the point where you're okay accepting responsibility for somebody else even though it wasn't yours, then you're going to struggle. Now, having said that, if you can do that, if you can humble yourself a little bit and take the criticism and take the mentoring and get better for that, look at that as, you know, my boss or my peer loves me enough to tell me, hey, I'm just missing it. Take that as a valuable lesson learned. Nobody can argue with that.